Hi, this is Shaun. In this video, I'm going to go over creating a very basic day-night cycle with the idea that I'm going to take it a step further after this video and extract a time of day to accelerate and decelerate these wind turbines and turn lights on and off based on time of day. So in preparing for this video, I found two really nice resources. This tutorial time of the day on the Unreal Wiki, and then this other one, it was an Unreal Engine 4 day-night cycle using Blueprint. All right, and those are good starting points, and we're going to take it a little further. So the first thing that we're going to do is modify two components. One is the light source and the BP sky sphere, and those come in with the default. The light source needs to be movable. And when you make it movable, you also need to rebuild the lighting. So under the Build tab. But I've already done that, so we saved a little time. Make sure you rebuild the lighting, otherwise the shadows may not be, it may not be real-time shadows. Then let's go into blueprints. The level blueprint. And I've got the light source selected. We need a reference to the light source, and we also need a reference to the sky sphere. In addition to referencing the sky sphere, we're also going to be referencing a function within the sky sphere, a specific function called update sun direction. Okay, so we've got those two declared and in the level. The way we're going to update and rotate is through a timeline. So I right-click, add a timeline. We'll call this timeline day-night cycle. And within this day-night cycle, I'm going to create 3 float variables. And the 3 float variables are going to be a 24-hour cycle, a 12-hour cycle, and a sun rotation variable. And before I go into setting keyframes, I'm going to set the length of this timeline to 24 seconds. Each second would be equal to an hour. I'm going to turn on autoplay and loop, which will allow you to, you don't need autoplay on. You could turn on a level start event, but this just saves a step. And loop will allow this day-night cycle to repeat itself. All right, so let's set keyframes now. By holding down the Shift key and clicking, you can set keyframes. And then the keyframe, you can dial in the value, the time, and the value. So for the first keyframe, 0 and 0. And the second keyframe I'm going to do at time 24, value 24. That's easy enough for the 24-hour cycle. For the 12-hour cycle, I'm going to set the first time at 0 with the value of 0. And the second keyframe, I'm going to say at time 12, a value of 12. And for the third keyframe, I'm going to say at time 24, a value of 0. So we've got a nice triangular sawtooth pattern, but really if this is going to be more for wind coming in and out for our turbines. So I'm going to go in and set these to cubic auto, which adds a nice ease in and an ease out. So that's set up. And for the sun rotation, the final variable that we'll use for this, I'll set 2 keyframes. The first one at time 0 with a value of -270 for a rotation. And the second keyframe, which will be at time 24 at a value of 90 for rotation. So we've got those all set up and done. So let's go back to the Event Graph tab, and you can see that those variables that we've declared are all set up correctly. So now what we're going to do is we're going to rotate the light source. So we can drag a noodle off of here, rotate, set actor rotation. That comes right up. Great. And we want to set the sun rotation to a new rotation, but we can't do that right off the bat because it's not the same kind of variable. So, but that's easy enough fixed. If you just type rotation again, you can say make rotate, and that has a pitch, yaw, and roll output, which then can be piped into the return value here. And so in order to make all of these work, we need to connect the update here. And that should do it. So before we go out, you can hit F7 on your keyboard to compile, or click up here. And let's run the day-night cycle and see if it's working. So Alt-P to run. And so it looks like we're starting at dusk here. And we're traveling through the 24-hour cycle. In a few seconds, we should probably see the sun coming over. Yep, there it goes. Excellent. All right, thanks so much for watching. I'll be back, and we'll deal with setting up these lights and wind turbines.